Welcome! In this video we will finalize our frontend, enable the voting and the registration functionality. But first of all, display our memes. So let's start with that. To display the memes we again need a read-only function, so another static call function. Let's make a global function out of this, so we can use it repeatedly. Let's cut it out from here and paste it on top. We need an asynchronous function. As parameters we need the function and the arguments. Let's replace the values. Delete our logs. Return our decoded variable. We are just displaying errors in the console here to make the DApp slim, but you should display also the errors to your users. You could use the message diff for that. Now let's use this to get our meme's length. Let's make a new variable with our asynchronous new function called static. Our arguments are the function getMemesLength. No arguments for this one. Now we can loop over the meme length to get all information of our memes. Let's create a new variable meme and assign it the value of our call. This time we will use our callStatic function for our getMemeContract function. If you remember, this function needs an index of the meme as an argument. We can use our counter I. Now let's push this meme object into our meme array. The creator name property will get the value from our new meme variable, same as the URL and the votes. The index is of course the index that we use to call it. We could include the renderMemes function in the loop so the user could see the memes earlier. But it might be confusing having them updated according to their votes while loading. Okay, that's it. Let's test this. I could commit this through Atom, but to make it very simple, I will just drag and drop the JavaScript code here. Let's commit it with a little message. Let's reload our base app and look into our index.js to see if the changes are already there. You can find it here. And our changes are already uploaded. Sometimes GitHub is a bit slow with the updates and you might need a little patience. Great, it works. This is the meme I entered in our Sophia contract chapter. But I can't scroll. This is a problem with the new version of the base app, so we have to adjust our CSS a bit. On desktop we'll have a scroll bar, but to make it look a little bit nicer and have everything a bit bigger, let's get rid of our padding in the body. Now for the container, let's make the height 100% of the viewport and let's set the vertical overflow to auto. So if we have more content to display, we will get a scroll bar. Okay, now let's upload this again. And now reload the base app. Now let's check our CSS. Okay, the changes are already here and we can see the scroll bar. We can scroll down and there are the two memes we registered. Nice. On real mobile you won't see the scroll bar though. Okay, now let's add the vote meme functionality. If you remember from our Sophia contract video, there are two types of calls you can make. The first one is what we used, read only. Now we want to write something into the blockchain. Let's create a new function, contract call. This one is not static. It is pretty similar to our first call, but this time we also need to include a value that the user can enter in their arguments. How many tokens they want to vote for and the creator of the meme will get. Now we want to write to the blockchain, so this call is not static. And we need to add an amount, which will be the value here. Now let's use this function to vote on a meme. We use the await keyword to make a promise and our function that we just wrote for the voteMemeContract function. The index is the argument of our voteMeme function. We can get the value from the user input. We don't have nice error handling here. If something is not working, we will just continue. You could improve this DApp by making sure that you just continue with the code if you don't receive any errors from the contract call. To be sure to display the right vote count, you could also make a get call before adjusting the votes, to be sure to get the right information. Let's show and hide our loader so the user knows that something is going on. And now we can add our last function, to register memes. Again we use the contract call function, but this time for the register meme function, with the name and the URL the user entered. We don't need to send any eons to the contract. Again, error handling could be improved, and we could also make a call after we register to be sure to get the right information. Also, you could sanitize the input initially, to make sure that nobody can insert malicious scripts. Actually, this should also be a block scoped variable, and we won't reassign it. Let's show the loader and hide the loader afterwards. And now comes the final test. Let's drag and drop the code with a little commit message on GitHub. And now reload the base app. The changes are already here in the code. Great. So let's vote. I have to confirm the transaction, but this looks good. Great. And now we register a new meme. I got one more meme. And it's a crypto god, of course. We confirm the transaction. And let's vote this to the top. Confirm again. Okay, everything looks good here. But let's see what happens if we reload the page and then sign in again. Is it really on the testnet? And great, we got our first DApp on the Eternity testnet. Now you can check out our challenge, build your own DApp based on what you learned, get feedback and earn Eternity tokens. A little note at the end, this DApp is built for educational purposes only. To reduce complexity, it is not built in the most efficient or secure way.